Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am nice and cozy right now. We have been having a lot of snow over the past week and a half, so I'm really excited to be bundled up in a sweater and a blanket and just having a quick chat with you guys. I'm on my couch right now because Jonathan's downstairs practicing music and my office is also downstairs, and I really just wanted to be able to have a quick conversation as my weekly recap. Last week was honestly really tough and I was extremely overwhelmed. I was very stressed out. We had snow days here in Cincinnati and I ended up having both kids at home, which I know there are many of you out there with 5 bajillion kids and we only have 2. But honestly, it was a little bit too overwhelming for me. Especially with me working full-time, trying to do videos for you guys and taking care of 2 kids, one being 1 and the other being 8 years old, almost 9. So it's been a little bit of a challenge. I feel like last week was probably one of the hardest weeks I've had in a while, just with so much going on in here in Ohio and just in the world in general. I feel like the heaviness, I think, of just the magnitude of all we've experienced throughout COVID. I feel like we've just been surviving for so long that we kind of have forgotten how to live. And this is a season, I think, right now where I really don't have a whole lot of friends. But one thing my mom used to always tell me is that when you feel like everyone hates you or you don't have people, God always puts one person in your life who celebrates you. And I definitely felt that. I felt like I had a few random new Instagram friends. Shout out to Haley and Crystal. I definitely feel like I've gained some good friendships through Instagram. But it's still, it doesn't feel exactly the same because they're newer friendships. But last week and the past couple of weeks have been just kind of hard weeks. You know, it's getting old, right? Being at home on, social distancing orders, it gets old and it's exhausting and you get tired of being in the house doing the same things every single day. And then last week, this is kind of a Momzilla moment. So it's a weekly recap and a Momzilla, but truly last week sucked. I kept dealing with Grant, he's 1 and he's biting now. And I'm where did he learn to bite? He's never seen us bite anybody. I don't understand where he would have learned that. But he bites now and has these crazy temper tantrums. And then Jonah, he's older, but I'm repeating myself constantly. And it's back in the day, I know I'm making myself sound like I'm so old, but truly back in the day, kids used to be afraid of being spanked. And this generation, I feel they just do whatever the heck they want and say they're sorry. So I've just been dealing with good, the bad, and the ugly of being a mother. And I think a lot of times, my weekly recap, I really don't have a whole lot of positivity for you guys, to be honest, because like I said, last week just sucked. I felt the pressure from all sides, from being a mom to being responsible for my role at work and my role as a wife. And it gets to be a lot, carrying so much all of the time. I made a blog post yesterday. It's so important for us as mothers and as women to just say no. No. I said in my blog post, I have a whole husband. He's more than capable of doing some of the tasks that I'm taking on. And I think a lot of times, we don't allow our spouses to step into the role rather that they were created to do, because we're so insistent upon doing everything ourselves, and it just burns us out and we end up resentful. And so we have these ideas in our mind of what a good wife looks like or what a good mother looks like. But that, kill that. Honestly, just kill those expectations that you're putting on yourself. And I'm saying it to you, but I'm also saying it to myself. Sometimes we have to just scale things back a little bit and put things in perspective. We've survived COVID, with kids in the house, with husbands in the house or at work. We've survived, and honestly, we've done more than survive. We've thrived. So just remember that, like, you're doing the best you can. I know I'm doing the best I can, and it gets exhausting. But back to the thing I was saying about, like, friendships, like, this is the time, I think, like, everyone's just at home. And so I don't take it personally that a lot of my, like, really close friends aren't reaching out. I don't necessarily take it personally, but it does feel lonely in the sense that, like, you want to be able to talk to your best close friends about how much the kids suck today. And honestly, like, you don't have that as much because everyone's at home and they're focused on their families, which is a great thing. And COVID has given us the chance to kind of reset. But at the same time, like, it's still just kind of like, all right, like, it feels sometimes like out of sight, out of mind. And I know that that's not the intent, but it kind of feels like that at times. So just, I guess my piece of advice is to hang in there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm, like, super tired, but I wanted to make sure I followed through with this weekly recap. My advice to you is just hang in there. Like, you're doing the best you can with your family. Like my mom always says, I told you guys, like, when you feel like everybody's out to get you, which I don't think everybody's out to get me, but I'm just saying, like, if you feel like you don't have anybody, like, God always puts one person in your life who celebrates you. So look for that person. And I guess the third point is just take care of yourself. Say no if you have to say no. You know, engage your spouse if you have a spouse. If you're doing it as a single parent, shout out to you. My mom was a single mom. I think it's incredible, the mothers who are able to do it on their own and maybe even aren't able to, but just were put in a situation where they had to. So I'm proud of you, and keep doing what you're doing. Reach out to me. I mean, I'd love to encourage you all. Like, just because we're all going through our own things, like, doesn't mean we can't encourage one another. And just stay tuned to the Taylorisms. I'm so glad that you tuned in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I guess before I end, like, a few positives of last week. While school and work was very hard, my marriage is good. John and I are good. I feel like we're reconnecting during COVID. And I think the other thing that came up, I'm actually talking to you guys from a new phone. I got a new phone. I had my iPhone 8 since like 2018. So I got the iPhone 11 and I really like it. I got it because they say it's really good for recording, which is important to our family, especially not just because we make videos for you guys, but also for ourselves. So I needed a better phone. And I also got the gimbal. Love it so far. Just set it up tonight. Got the iPhone yesterday or maybe Saturday. So all good things. I love technology. So I'm really enjoying technology. I'm really enjoying my new devices. So that was a highlight. And I also made a video about my favorite vegan tofu scramble. And we actually made it tonight for dinner. It's like our go-to. We eat tofu with the Beyond Meat. It's so good. And rice and veggies. Tonight we had tofu scramble with broccoli and it was delicious. So if you haven't tried that, go check out that recipe. And thanks for joining the Taylorisms. I'm so glad to see you. Make sure you hop on over to my blog as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It really goes a long way. And I appreciate you tuning in. Have a great week.